So this is my creative dream. I decided I was going to do a furniture makeover, and then I decided I was going to revamp my old cabinet. The first step was to do some research. I had no idea how to do this or what materials to use. The internet said to assess the cabinet first, so here's the cabinet. It had broken handles, which you can see weren't on very securely. It had dents and scratches. It was dirty, and also the paint was coming off. So anytime I used an organic cleaner, the paint would rub off really easily. And then you can also see there's more dents and marks on this. So the third step was to purchase materials. I purchased an angled paintbrush and then a drop cloth for easy cleanup. I also read online that I needed a primer. There were so many primers, you guys. I didn't know which one to choose, so I moved on to wood fillers. I researched a good one for particle board, and this one was supposedly the best, so we'll see how that works out. I then grabbed some blue tape just in case. And then I went to choose a color. It was way too overwhelming, so I just grabbed some samples and went and purchased the materials. It turned out to be around $65 without the paint. Then I went ahead and grabbed this guy too on my way out. I thought it would look cute on top of the cabinet. And then I went to my dad's and grabbed 2 of his sanders. So then I took the sample colors that I found. I put them up against the wall. I finally decided on one of them, and it was Sea Sage. That was the winner. Then the first step of revamping the furniture is taking out all the screws and also removing the rubber behind the glass. This is really tedious work and takes a while, but voila, it worked. And I was able to remove the glass. This took about 30 minutes for one dresser or cabinet. Keep in mind I was doing 2. Then I used a piece of sandpaper to get the corners and the edges, the parts that the sander couldn't get. This was also a lot of work, and it took 3 hours to sand both of the blue dressers. Then I used the orbital sander. This just made it really easy. I had no idea how to use this before, so I also had to Google. And then I used a leaf blower to get all the dust off before priming. This was a tip that my dad told me about. Then I had to move it into the garage because it was getting way too windy outside, and I didn't want bugs to fall on it. I then picked up some primer. I opened up this guy, and I started to prime. The first coat, it looked really blotchy, and I was scared, and then I realized, okay, the second coat looks a lot better. Now I prime the doors. The next morning, my uncle dropped off a bunch of painting supplies. He used to be a painter, so these really came in handy. I then had to sand the primer down because it felt kind of gritty and also a little bumpy. And so by doing this, it made it really smooth. I used 240p, which is a fine sandpaper. Then I was ready to paint. As you can see, the paint kind of turned out a little bit bluer than I wanted. I was kind of going for a sage green, but that's fine. Actually, it looks really, really good. This is me being done with the first coat. I propped them up on sparkling water cans to paint better, and I was ready for the second coat. So now I did the second coat. It looks great. And then I did a polyacrylic, which is a protective finish, a clear coat. Then I had to put all the screws together, put the screws back on, which actually took a long, long time, put the magnets on, and this is a before. And here is an after. So I actually really like it. I can't put anything on the top as of now because it's still kind of wet and will make marks. But as you can see, all the marks are gone. I put on new knobs. I Windexed the windows, and I feel it actually turned out really nice. We also sanded the inside, so it turned into this like 3-color pattern, which I really liked, and I finished.